Fernando Alonso made his way through to Q3 in Paul Ricard last year. On this Workday good lap, great lap, let's compare his performance to his teammate Esteban Ocon in the Q2 session with several key technical differences through the lap. Esteban Ocon will push the front slightly too wide in the mid-corner of turn 1, taking subtly too much apex speed. He'll have to take more throttle away through the over-the-crest apex of turn 2, losing himself several kilometers per hour and around 1.5 tenths of a second down towards turn number 3. In the technical 3, 4 and 5 section, Ocon will push the front too wide in the middle. This is turn 4. He'll then be out of position for the very slow speed apex of turn 5. Drivers spend longer in the slower speed corners, and therefore there's more time to gain and lose from subtle differences in the number of kilometers per hour they're able to take through the apex. Ocon suffers with this here and has to squirt the throttle hard down to 6 to try to gather the time back. Alonso is able to be more accurate to the apex of 6, but catches a bit of an oversteer as a result of touching the curb through the exit and has to lose a little time as they head out onto the Mistral straight, negating any possible advantage. The Mistral wind is a headwind down the aptly named Mistral straight, shortening the braking zone for the mid-track chicane. Esteban Ocon has a completely different technique to Fernando Alonso in this chicane, charging in much deeper. You can see his telemetry trace in terms of speed falling down later towards the base of the screen, and his throttle trace lifting later, his brake trace coming later. He uses this extra bit of outside curb to try to negate the loss associated to going in much deeper into the chicane. Will still lose out on the exit, but will take a net gain over Alonso, stealing back critical time as they head down to senior corner, which is easy flat in this specification of Formula 1 car and a drive-through area of the circuit. Heading down towards Le Bousset, Ocon will find himself slightly wide, whereas Alonso will absolutely nail the first apex, keeping himself on the nice, grippy, banked area of the circuit right towards the inside. Ocon will try to recover by squaring off the second apex and getting on the throttle earlier, but Alonso is able to take considerably more apex speed. His gains only negated slightly by touching the curb again mid to exit and suffering again with oversteer. This oversteer puts him in a difficult position to turn into turn 12, as he's unable to get completely back across the road, finding himself wide of the apex and losing a bit of time back to his teammate. There are several technical changes on the dashboard for Alonso, as he's able to point the car more aggressively over the inside curb by stiffening up the rear and tightening up the diff. He feels much more comfortable on this inside curb and is able to present the car in a nicer position for the final corner of the lap, opening the car up in this slow speed apex, stealing a few critical kilometers per hour and adding to the pain of his teammate, who'll be just outside the cut for Q3, Alonso in P9, making his way through to the final session of qualifying.